New Lands, by Charles Hoyfort, Part 2, Chapter 25e. In Nature, Volume 15, page 451, the correspondent writes that, at 8:55 p.m., he saw a large red star in Serpens, where he had never seen such an appearance before. Gunnersbury, March 17, 1877. 10 minutes later, the object increased and decreased several times, flashing like the revolving light of a lighthouse, then disappearing. This correspondent writes that, about 10 p.m., he saw a great meteor. He suggests no relation between the two appearances, but there may have been relation, and there may be indication of something that was stationary at least 1 hour over Gunnersbury, because the object said to have been a meteor was first seen at Gunnersbury. In the Observatory, Volume 1, page 20, Captain Tupman writes that, at 9:57 o'clock, a great meteor was first seen at Frome, Tetbury, and Gunnersbury. The red object might not have been in the local sky of Gunnersbury, might have been in the constellation Serpens, and seen in all the rest of the world. There is a great field of records of meteors that, with no parallax, or with little parallax, or with little parallax that may be accounted for by supposing that observations were not quite simultaneous, have been seen to come as if from a star or from a planet, and that may have come from such points, indicating that they are not far away. For instance, Report of the British Association, 1879, page 77, the Great Meteor of September 5, 1868. It was seen, at Zurich, Switzerland, to come from a point near Jupiter, at Tremont, France. Origin was so close to Jupiter that this object and the planet were seen in the same telescopic field. At Bergamo, Italy, it was seen 5 or 6 degrees from Jupiter. Zurich is about 140 miles from Bergamo, and Tremont is farther from Zurich and Bergamo than that. So there are data that indicate that objects have come to this Earth from planets or from stars, enforcing our idea that the remotest planet is not so far from this Earth as the Moon is said, conventionally, to be, and that the stars, all equidistant from this Earth, might be reached by traveling from this Earth. One notices that I always conclude that, if phenomena repeatedly occur in one local sky of this Earth, their origin is traceable to a fixed place over a stationary Earth. The fixed place over this Earth is indicated, but that fixed place, island of space, foreign coast, whatever it may be conceived of as accompanying this Earth in its rotations and revolutions around the Sun. Accepting that nothing much is known of gravitation, that gravitational astronomy is a myth, that attraction may extend but a few miles around this Earth. If I can think of something hanging and supported in space, I always think of an island, say, over Birmingham, or Irkutsk, or Comrie, as soon flying off by the centrifugal force of the rotating Earth, or as being soon left behind in a rush around the Sun. Nevertheless, there is good room for discussion here. But when it comes to other orders of data, I find one convergence toward the explanation that this Earth is stationary. But the subject is supposed to be sacred. One must not think that this Earth is stationary. One must not investigate. To think upon this subject, except as one is told to think, is, or seems to be considered, impious. But how can one account for an Earth that moves? By thinking that something started it and that nothing ever stopped it. Earth that doesn't move. That nothing ever started it. Some more sacrilege.